Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another Walking Dead video here at Crooked Chicken. As we know, Comic-Con is in full swing this week. It is going on tomorrow through the weekend. And with that, we're going to get a slew of new information regarding the Walking Dead world, particularly the second season of Daryl Dixon and also the second season of Dead City. Dead City's not going to premiere until next year, but we do have Daryl Dixon coming up here in the next couple of months, and they're supposed to have a panel. I think it's at 2:45 tomorrow, Friday, the 26th of July. And of course, Norman Reedus, Melissa McBride, Scott Gimple, and a few others are going to be there in attendance. And they're supposed to have a premiere of the first episode of the second season after the panel. Now, here lies the worry with that, is that we're definitely going to get spoilers and leakers out there that throw that shit all over YouTube and do different things across the internet to spoil it for everybody, because we still have a good solid 2 months before we're going to see this, and people just cannot help themselves. When they have early access to this, they're going to throw it out there. But beyond that, we don't really have any new information regarding the Walking Dead world, so we're seeing if we're going to get any more information, if we're going to get news about any more possible spin-offs or any more news regarding Rick and Michonne, if they have any plans to revisit them within this world, or if Andy Lincoln and Denai Guerrera are in fact done. But there's just too much that's open-ended, and I just think there's still more story to tell before they can call it quits on these characters, and a lot of the fan base would agree. And with that, though, we're going to jump into a few promotional pics that were released from Entertainment Weekly regarding Daryl Dixon Season 2, and we'll just talk about the different things going on at Comic-Con this weekend, and also some key art, or I guess just some promotional art from San Diego that's plastered all over the buildings regarding Daryl Dixon. But in this first picture that we get from Entertainment Weekly, we just have Norman Reedus, or Daryl Dixon, in this car, it seems, surrounded by walkers, and it goes back to the promotional pieces that we got for Daryl Dixon Season 2 when they first released them at the end of last season, with Carol also being in a similar situation where she's in a car surrounded by walkers. And I want to say that this is probably not the same car. They're probably not in there together, but we can safely assume that they're probably going to find each other fairly quickly within the first 2 or 3 episodes of the second season. And, we just have a lot going on regarding that, and just different speculations and different theories. And just, I don't know how I feel about them finding each other that quickly. And there's this whole story, or whole synopsis, I guess, or parts of the synopsis, where Carol's supposed to be on opposing sides of Daryl, of his conflict or whatever he's got going on in France, before he somehow winds up in Spain. But hopefully they find a good way to tell that story. But moving on to the next one, we have Melissa McBride, or Carol. This is probably still at that trading post that we got the little sneak peek. It's probably been a few months now where we got that sneak peek of Carol capturing that guy, throwing him in the trunk of that car, and then getting the information of where he got Daryl's bike, and her going to this trading post and pulling the crossbow on these people, wondering where Daryl is. And so this is probably within that same scene. But the next one, we got Carol there on Daryl's bike, probably also within that same few minutes or whatever of that scene where she pulls up on these people trying to get information about where Daryl is. Then this one, we have Daryl, and he's got his crossbow. And this is where it kind of comes into play, or this is where people get revved up with their theories that they're going to find each other fairly quickly within the first few episodes. Much like Michonne and Rick found each other within the first episode. We saw how Michonne finds Rick at the end of the first episode, and then it comes into play where it tells different parts of that story along the way before we get to the present day and them finding their way back home. But other than that, this is the promotional art that we got for Daryl Dixon. This is just the standard Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Book of Carol. This is them doing their thing. We got Daryl there in front of the nest, and there's walkers in the background, so there's probably going to be a battle that breaks out at the nest. It's probably going to be destroyed, or at least very badly damaged, and we're probably going to have a lot of different things going on there with Madame Janae, because we saw in the promotional or teaser bits that we got a couple months ago now, where she's going to be in an ambush situation. So I don't know how far that's going to go, if they're actually going to capture her, or if she's going to somehow get out of that situation. But we just got this first little bit of Daryl Dixon art for the second season. But here's where we get into the teaser art, the promotional art for San Diego Comic-Con that's posted on the side of buildings. We got a promotional poster all over the side of a building. We got Carol there. on that motorcycle, still with Daryl's crossbow. So this is before she finds her way over to France. And there's a whole uproar, I guess, about how she gets over there, but I think that's going to be explained with the new character that we're supposed to get. I can't remember his name right now, but he comes into play. He's been in the previews and whatnot. But moving on, we also have the other side of that same building where we have Daryl, much like the poster that we got for the second season. He's in front of the nest, and there's walkers in the background, and just probably an upcoming battle that's going to take place at the nest. And here's more of a clear shot of that. Still, I mean, it's just kind of basic, not a whole lot going on. It's kind of almost the same as the first season, where we got him in this, up front shot. Then we just got the background, not a whole lot going on there. But we move on, we get this other promotional art that has Isabel, and it even has a little tagline that says, "Even heroes need saving." So that being said, I think Isabel might play more of a part this season, where she maybe takes charge and has to step in and save Daryl, or maybe even Daryl and Carol. The next one we have Laurent, also in front of the nest, it looks like. So I'm really wondering how far they're going to take Isabel and Laurent as far as Daryl's story is concerned, and seeing the things that we want to see play out in the Walking Dead world, because there's still so much to tell, but they still have to take these characters and take the Walking Dead world in general and kind of reinvent it every season, so we're not getting the same thing over and over. That's kind of the same thing that happened with the original Walking Dead series, where we would get a villain, he would be a threat for a season or two, and then he'd be dealt with, and then we get a new villain, and same scenario plays over and over. And that's not something I want for this series, or for the Walking Dead world in general. Like, I don't want Dead City to constantly be about Maggie's internal frustrations or just her grudges that she's holding against Negan for being who he was, or who he could very well be this next season too, being thrust into this position that he's now in. And we've seen those leaked pictures of him with a new Lucille. Is he going to revert back to that guy? We don't know yet, but I think he will to a degree. Because he's in the position of power, he has to set an example. He has to unite the gangs of New York, if you will. And I just don't know if they need to keep recycling that story over and over. So that's my biggest concern, really, for the Walking Dead world. If we're going to get more spin-offs, if we're going to get the closure that we want to see for the original world, where we have Daryl, Carol, Rick, Maggie, Negan, everybody come back together and just be done. And I don't know if we're going to get that, because Scott Gimple is going to milk this cow for all it's worth. And I really think that could be the downfall of this series and of this world. But that's just my opinion. But anyways, we get Comic-Con this weekend. We're going to find out much more information. And I know we'll get some sort of teaser or trailer for Daryl Dixon. And we'll get some sort of probably production type teaser, or just a small teaser of Dead City and how it's going, because it's not going to be out till next year. And hopefully maybe we will possibly get some news about Rick, if he's going to return, because Andy Lincoln is doing a new series, but I believe it's a limited series where it's not going to be more than a season or two over in the UK. And Denai Guerrera, I think she's doing her own thing right now. She's probably taking a break from a lot of it, but she's also a playwright. And just with the Walking Dead world, Ross Marquand has always said he's down to do a spinoff of some sort. And that's always been kind of a thing too, where Ross Marquand and Seth Gilliam, who play Aaron and Gabriel, would like to come back and do some sort of spinoff based around them. And one theory, or just one, I guess, fan wish I've heard, is maybe they could go to Vegas, but that would just be kind of off the wall weird, I think. But with that all said, we got Comic-Con, we got probably a lot of new information, a lot of new trailers, a lot of maybe announcements regarding this world, and I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens, if it's all going to be worth the wait, if we're eventually ever going to see what we really want to see in this world. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, of course, subscribe to the channel, help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and I'd really appreciate it. So until next time, guys, take care, bye.